Hello, welcome to the Rangers News YouTube channel. My name's James Black and I'm here to have a look at this weekend's Scottish Premiership clash between Rangers and Motherwell as the Light Blues try and take another step towards 55. After winning their previous 15 league games, the Gers could equal a post-war club record for consecutive league wins, equalling the mark of 16 set by Jock Lawless's side in 1972-73, and it would keep them at least 21 points ahead of Celtic at the top of the Scottish Premiership, with only 14 games left to play. Rangers won 2-1 in their last outing against Aberdeen, and despite performances not quite being at their best recently, Rangers have continued to grind out wins, and it's a real sign of good momentum in the squad that despite not playing at their best, they are continuing to get good wins. Although that said, the opening 70 minutes or so at Aberdeen was as good a performance as we've seen from Rangers recently. After the clash at Pittodrie though, Steven Gerrard confirmed that he's no new injury worries, with Kemar, Roofe and Ryan Jack both set to return within the next week most likely, with Scott Arfield a little bit behind him. Ryan Jack's long-term fitness was a topic of discussion today as Gerrard spoke to the press ahead of the clash with Motherwell, and the Ibrox boss had this to say.
Look, we've always tried to monitor the load of all the players. Players are all different in different areas in different ways. Some players are very robust and can churn out games, no problem. They recover really quick. Some players need a little bit more attention in terms of recovery and offloading at the right times. Jacko's a difficult one because he's so important. He's a player we rate very much. I don't think I have to go on record to tell you guys what I think of him and what we think of him because I've done it so many times. His consistency levels have been superb. So it is a difficult one because you want him in the team as much as possible and he wants to be in the team as much as possible. But it's something that we've spoke to Ryan about. It's something we've had conversations with Steve Clarke about. And the reality is that Ryan does need looking after different than some other players, and it's something we'll try and keep an eye on and try and make him available as much as we can because he's so important to both club and country, especially at this stage.
This weekend's hosts Motherwell go into the game in the back of a pretty dismal run of form, failing to win any of their previous 11 games and undergoing a change in management after Stephen Robinson resigned on New Year's Eve. Graham Alexander's arrival to replace the Northern Irishman couldn't spark a bounce for his Steelmen, drawn 1-1 with St Mirren in his first game in charge last weekend as he got his first taste of club football north of the border. This weekend he'll be without the services of Rangers loanee Jake Hastie, but he could call on former Ibrox goalkeeper Liam Kelly after the shot-stopper completed a loan move to Fir Park from QPR last week and made his debut against St Mirren. There will be another new face in the Motherwell squad this weekend though after he completed the signing of Stephen Lawless from Burton Albion on Friday, and the boyhood Rangers fan could make his second debut for the club where he made his breakthrough when you take on Rangers this weekend. He's excited to face Rangers, if he's picked that is, and he's looking forward to testing himself against the informed side in Scottish football.
Just a good one to warm up, eh? Couldn't have picked a harder game, but listen, this place has always been hard for the Old Firm, so that's what we try to do. Obviously it's a bit different with no fans here, but we still need to make this a difficult place and make it as hard as possible for them. We know they're a good team, they're obviously doing really well this year, but we need to just focus on ourselves. This is a hard place for any team to come, especially Old Firm. I've noticed it over the years, obviously when I was here I watched Old Firm come here and struggle. So that's what we try to do, make it as hard as possible and hopefully pick up a positive result.
The last time the two sides met, faced off at Ibrox in December, Rangers ran out 3-1 winners, needing a double from Kemar, Roofe and a header from Cedric Itten to seal a comeback win and go 16 points clear of Celtic. It took a little while for Rangers to get going that day, but once they did, Motherwell were just helpless against them, with Stephen Robinson's side coming in for a fair bit of criticism for lining up in 2 banks of 5 to try and snuff out Rangers' attacking threat. With Celtic now sitting 21 points behind Rangers though in the title race, the Gers could take another massive step towards a seemingly inevitable title triumph with a win in Lanarkshire. As they close in on another club record, and the club's first title in a decade, Gerrard should stick with the starting 11 that got the job done against Aberdeen at Pittodrie last weekend. That would see veteran keeper Alan McGregor starting behind a back four of James Tavernier, Connor Goldson, Leon Balogun and Borna Barisic as they look to extend the club's fantastic defensive record. Rangers have been brilliant at shutting teams out so far this season, and while they've conceded a few more goals recently, continuing that is going to be just so massive in the title race for Rangers. The back five pretty much picks itself just now, and while Philip Helander could maybe feel a little bit aggrieved to have lost his place to Leon Balogun, it's hard to make changes when the team's doing so well. In front of them, the midfield trio with Joe Aribo, Stephen Davis and Glenn Kemar will again be tasked with trying to dictate tempo against struggling Will. Joe Aribo's yet to consistently show his best form since coming back from injury, but he's looking closer and closer to the player that fans raving about him during the summer and after the restart. Ryan Jack is close to return to action, but his absence along with that of Scott Arfield leaves Rangers still a little bit short on bodies in centre midfield. Bongani Zungu has become a regular coming off the bench, having making appearances in the last 8 games as a substitute, but the South Africans yet to really show that he'd done anything to deserve a starting place for Steven Gerrard's side, so it's looking like the midfield 3 who started at Pittodrie will be the 3 who start again against Motherwell. When the midfield 3 are at their best, though, it's when Rangers play some of their best stuff and they can be unplayable at times. So having those 3 players on form is going to be absolutely crucial for Rangers if they're going to get 3 points at Fir Park. Ahead of them, Yanis Hadji and Ryan Kent will be in the wide positions, and they'll be looking to provide opportunities for Alfredo Morelos to build on last weekend's double against Aberdeen. After getting back amongst the goals with his double, Morelos has got a huge role to play for Rangers in the coming weeks and months, and with Kemar Roofe still on the sidelines, the spotlight's firmly on Morelos. The likes of Cedric Itten and Jermaine Defoe are surely pushing for a start as well, but with Morelos looking like he's back to his best, the Colombian will hopefully fire the Gers to a comfortable win in Motherwell. With a slightly reduced schedule in the opening weeks of the new year, there maybe won't be quite as much rotation in the start 11 as we've seen from Rangers so far this season, especially before Christmas when there is something 3-4 changes in most games. Whichever side Gerrard does pick though, hopefully they can make it 16 wins in a row and extend the unbeaten run in the league to a scarcely believable 24 games. Now that's all we've got time for in this episode, but please let us know what you think of the Motherwell game in the comments below. Let me know what you think about my predicted 11, whether you agree or disagree. And we'll have plenty more coverage of the Motherwell game here on YouTube and also on rangersnews.uk, where we'll have the usual reaction, analysis and match report from Fir Park. Now remember to like and subscribe, have a look back through some of our older videos, and thanks for watching.